Betut nemi nekakituye chitab kalenjin itagat mising eng tetutiet nebo betutab Rani. Kimi ak wakili nenyo wakili Geoffrey arap mutai eng ketesiet eng betut nebo Rani. Ketoretkei kenai chechang chetesetai eng emet ak mwochi bororiet tiam kechikilji kemwochi kele tos ne netesetai ako une ng'alek chemi eng emet eng betut nebo Rani. Chamgei wakili.
Missing Kemboi ndakse neketachan kele Geoffrey arap mutai lakini Geoffrey kimutai langat.
Oh, Geoffrey kimutai langat.
So asante sana kwa mwaliko wa asubuhi. Sige kegergine testai en emet ake ngalalen ake chikiri ake ker tugul ak biikab Kalenjin.
Kele testai ne. Kongoi mising. Kongoi mising wakili. Ameche ketaune kolalang ngalekab Finance Act 2023. Kongalal kapkirwok ako ingen ile kwagere one of the senior counsels chekakekochi reprimand anan kure ne man that nini ngaliot kiboisie kikakikochi senior counsel Ahmed Nasir kelechi matetai ngalale ngalek chebo kapkirwok iwire Supreme Court kikawir Supreme Court for a very long time mangen ale ne tebekere ak Supreme Court for a very long time ako testai ak wirsonoto kora eng betut nebo amut kokon tilet nebo Finance Act 2023 eng nekongalale anan nekokon kole kotestai komie ako kochulat ngalekab public participation eng kerengung une ngalechoto bo Finance Act 2023 ako iboru ne?
Tilet nekotil kapkirwok nebo Supreme Court kotit neo en emetab Kenya kondochin President Martha Koome kokowal keret nekikakeker ngalekab serikali kole butos ngatutik tugul chebo serikali kila en kila. Kong'eten noi kokimwa kora ng'alyo nebo the housing levy. I thought it was on Thursday or I think. Kikastab angwan last week. So kokeker walet ngoba kesishek tugul baka Supreme Court koreinstate status nebo lekimoktoi serikali. Ngeba High Court kawirta High Court alak keba Supreme Court kawirta kora. So for two times kokon decision Supreme Court neiyonjindos ak likiyaita serikali ng'alekyik. Amun niker nguni Finance Act 2023, this is an act it has been operationalized. Ako kikobois ako kikoachieve its objective. Kot kebwan 2024, kanye kanalifayan kora nebo 2024, kefollen back to 2023. So ndakimakinalifayan nebo 2024, there was even no need to fight this law because ordinarily kimototinye impact. Ani amun kikinalifayan kora 2024 and High Court koboisien nguni serikali nebo 2023. The government was very keen to fight it up to Supreme Court amun komotomi liyoito boisiet kumami 2023 amami 2024. So in essence, Supreme Court is agreeing with how the government operationalized the 2023 Act, how it was enacted, the issues of public participation. Public participation ko kwa oret agenge. Nebendi biik chechang kapkirwok. Ako mwa kole ngalek ko serikali kuma moiti ngatutiet. Okay awet kasarta nekikere kanala na mi makosa uyan. But all in all ko kemwa kele the threshold nebo public participation in the absence of a law ko kini kamwa kapkirwok ko noton nekisubi. Ko keseten basic threshold neko kengalalen ngalekab kele ne nenyolu keyai. The other day ko kwakere in kongeten SHA Social Health Act, Social Private ngalejo ambonga tutien namaka nango replace ni NHIF. Kia facing kora challenges about public participation. So in kinogere nguni ko kotorete missing kapkirwok no Supreme Court ke settle what you call settlement of legal issue with regard to public participation. In other words, now settled law. Magebireti min kele nene ngalekab public participation. But going forward Mangwala will enact a law ne guide when public participation is being done. Yes.
Iboru nguni kole kakobek choto ngalekab Finance Act makomi any other level nemuch keiba this case inita.
Finance Act 2023 munga mwono ole kora mi case ni Finance Act 2024. Ko nebo 2023 ko settled. Kapkirwok no en Kenya lemo milete wendi ko kapkirwok nebo Supreme Court. Uamuzi nemingine Supreme Court ko tile neo kabisa nemami kele te labati appeal there's no other level of appeal when it comes to the ngatutiet nebo kapkirwok nemi ngaten la chief magistrate paka Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court. Initially, kijam Kenya nebo Court of Appeal in the previous constitution. Ano kuno kangalal Supreme Court kumo amichana to ngalale. Yes.
Kakubek kyoto ngalekab kesit nebo Finance Act 2023.
Yes.
So kaya nguni kap keboishe this act nata nguni without any vikwazo alak tugul.
Yes, katesta nguni serikali ko implementen boisionik kyik koboisien ngatutyonoto. Ako testai boisionikab serikali komomi legal conundrum or legal lacuna. So bye nguni amangu ale State House people jam koker ngalecho chekakonai kole at least people can say we are doing our work. Amungu wako bin ngaleke jangele advisors chebo serikali. But looks like the Supreme Court is now saying the government did the right thing. So it's going to be a reprieve for those who are implementing the policies, ngalega rabishek, chewemit, expenditure, the treasury, and everyone in the executive. Among all, kobus nguni, prepare a breathing sign of relief in Gereza. Yes.
Breathing sign of relief. Kongoi meeting. Ingeni le ko ngalale kwa after that nini ni ko kuon tilani ta nebo Finance Act. Komwa bi kole ngwany is that the reason koger President William Ruto kole ngosir barwet kole keib kesit ke the direct kesit nito nebo stand of impeachment kwa Supreme Court amu ibwati ile mi barua kikasir that letter atie baadaye nyokoistoge lawyers chechi in kotini amu kiger kole much kobit cross examination nebo president amu kagenjoinen as one of the respondents eng kama sanotako makielewan missing akotanet atinya gray area in that part maelewan missing eng yoto kiro that letter ki letter anan ki application anan ki ne anan ki submission maelewani those terms kidogo chebo legal
no mwale there's an existing preliminary objection anan pinganet nenyole kengalalen komakeba kesit nemwa kole nene High Court komatinye jurisdiction and that was the position held by the legal team which were representing the president in the current petition at the High Court petition concerning removal of the deputy president. However, mwa ngatutiet nebo emet kole you cannot sue the president in his own name. And there's a decision of the Supreme Court to that effect. So, Kinginam Gesi Nigetashigen joining the president in the suit in his name, which was not supposed to be the case. You cannot sue the president through the AG as per the law. So, there is already a decision saying the president is not supposed to be sued, and he is not answerable to any legal suit in the Republic of Kenya. Lakini there is a proper PO, PO preliminary objection filed by the team of the AG, which they are saying the High Court does not have jurisdiction. And amadnya kapkirwok nebo High Court uwezo kongalalenga lejambo impeachment. And it's a very serious legal argument. Kwagere heavy submissions amut. Submission chuko babara kabisa kwa kono kaitu yana abi mana kagere ole. Mara karungo kosindonis ngalana noto amun ngatutietab emet article 145 article 144 article 149 regarding the impeachment of the deputy president kumatinye it does not give room for judicial intervention niger elegisto president by way of ngotkele mnyoni anamtinye magarara metit president or deputy president the parliament will vote on that akikoi tribunal chief justice kotkomnyoni makakeker kele makoboisie metit ana makarara metit
kivoteni amune
kebendi parliament akikoi chief justice koformen a tribunal koformen tribunal chief justice ne involve ni daktari somok aga high court judge and no high court but a senior advocate when the tribunal sits and makes a decision, that decision still goes back to parliament. Got vote in parliament gole kayanak uamuzi kot kole tribunal nebo madaktari ak an advocate kole iman makararan meto mamuch koyai kasit. Kot koit parliament ko parliament makiyoni yan komwa ko voten, the law says that cannot be appealed against. It is final. Kot kele kora parliament kakiyonjine ak ngalalet nekamwa tribunal kole makararan metit. Wendi ka and you cannot appeal against it. The entire reading of the law without respect kobaru kole decision for removal, amu removal ko in many instances including number medical grounds makararan metit. Komami option of appeal to the High Court or any other court. So removal of a president or a deputy president is a political issue and a political question that is resolved politically. Gotiwe sub High Court akibe ngalale ngalek yebo human rights. The human rights issues affecting Kenyans with regard to removal go greater interest than that of an individual. Among the right of Kenyans to good leadership, the right of Kenyans to a properly constituted government that is running day by day affairs of this country is superior to the rights of one individual. So, and secondly, that brings the legal issue and the political issue, because Kenyans, in their own wisdom, voted for a constitution. We give powers to Parliament, we give powers to the Senate to do the job for us after doing what you call public participation. Why Parliament and Senate? Why we should not waste the President? Because Kenyans' participation is only at the public participation stage. From there, under Article 1, we surrender to the elected representatives in Parliament and Senate. Why we should not? So, the legal argument that High Court has no jurisdiction, in my opinion, pending the decision of the court, is likely to carry the day. Because you're looking at human rights issues, the right to fair hearing. Getting a election of president, activity president, 2022, 2013, 2027. The law says the Constitution gives the exclusive mandate. Article 160, 161 to 165 in your judiciary. Judiciary, that is the Supreme Court, exclusive mandate could delay disputes. Election of president. Your Supreme Court. Removal. In the same level, you are dealing with the office of the president. Removal of the president, at the end of it, a president or deputy, because the two president and deputy president applies, the removal applies in the same manner. And the only difference is election. Election. And it's about giving this person the mandate to run the affairs of this country as the CEO. So that challenge being brought to the High Court, in my opinion and in the opinion of other legal minds, it is not an option available under the Constitution. Can appeal the decision of the Senate and the High Court to remove him. So it is not provided for in law. Legal minds, the same idea. When the law is silent on something, yanga mama ngotutiet kuma tinye mwa ngotutiet kin mama you don't arrogate jurisdiction by interpretation. Jurisdiction anan uwezo nebo High Court, uwezo nebo Court of Appeal, uwezo nebo koti ene ketul Kenya coming out with that Constitution angatutik alak ke ko imbaishonek yoto kutumo ko katiba no amo ko ngatutik alak kumami gininye moy ile nyolwa ngotinye you cannot speak to it and give it power mi ngeti gini mami engalalet nebo ngatutik. So gere noton go gere ne life and tayengalolen gikanyo ko magap kirwa kuamuzi on that issue. But my considered view and opinion shared by many others is that High Court should not deal with that matter. In any way, in any, even when you get a Supreme Court, mandate not. Removal of the president or a deputy president, which is considered final under Article 145. Yeah, that's an question. Shall cease. The word is shall cease. So we season Mago Deputy President, and the High Court and any no court in Kenya has a mandate to reinstate or to do anything with regard to the decision of the Senate.
What about issuing conservatory orders?
Now that is what is being argued. The orders were issued ex parte. Ex parte means kikoito ngatutik kikoito tilano komayakas chitugul. Kilabat kitikab kirwok Deputy President api alak kirwaen kerwoya amwaitagei kole judge ne betunoto koker ngalechu koki ngolole ngalek cheechen ako bekeformen team nebo judges somok kongalale ngalekwak. So kikon man conservative lakini kile koron no, even though I've given them, you need to form a bench of 3 judges, the Chief Justice tukas ngalechu. En kokebwan nanya kele amun kimwachi judge non kole mi ngalek chekechen ngalechu komwa en kapkirwok ne kono conservatory orders lakini sibo ngalalen en a bench of 3 judges. Kunoto this time kun ngalechoto. Ingolole Justice Richard Mongen Gorogoya kokono tilanan ko ikas kitiko mastaen. Kai kasen ko masuyek tugul. Ako masta kamwaon kai ngalalen ngone lenen ot kapkirwok nebo High Court komotinye uwezo ngalalen ngalechu. Kitara boisie Senate o moginye Deputy President, nyolu kenye Deputy President ne elected and nominated who is now supposed to be sworn in. Yes.
Gitigemi line ata mo kai yet another an interesting front nebo ngalechu tachu mi kamiji torto wakili imwawa kobone akasane kityo akangen ale chang biik chikose issue nebo kakelewen Kindiki koek deputy president nebo emet nebo Kenya. So Kindiki ko appointed mwaene ngatutiet akobo president mutkoit a level maybe nemakomuchi koek president nebo kasari kogele mwae ngatutiet kole wendi automatically the deputy president konam ngecheranata nebo president. So ngot konam that nebo president an appointed person nikiki appointed by the president ko tinye shida agetugul eng ngatutik kineunoto anan katestai kityo.
Katiba nenyon ko 2010 kikochinigei icheket ko biikab Kenya. Kikibirchi kura akosir akepromulgaten president the late Mike Kibaki. Sanani nebo bet kinwan akemwa kele katiba niko nenyon. Katiba nenyon komi tuguk che very clear che magi questioning akot concerning vacancy in the office of the president. A president of Kenya elected or in case of a deputy president now no get appointed no prevent parliament a president in case of any vacancy those of the president has a mandate like an elected president. That is the position of the constitution of Kenya. So there's no difference. Tinye mandate kwa hivyo ishet as a president. Au takini warodnya mandate. Kaki nominated, kwa vacancy the president, kwa hivyo office nebo president, au nominate another deputy president. So it's possible kondo jeme piga yengu at one time. Chemo akibiri chukura direct. Possible. Yes.
Mami ule sho ngatutet.
Mami de. Kondo hicho kwa hivyo ishet. In case of that happens, because these are something which has never happened, but it can happen. There's a possibility, and we can be led by individuals. Direct. Yes, like now Kindiki, Kindiki is a deputy president. He was actually appointed as a CS. And I'm going to nominated. Proven parliament. He'll be our deputy president without our vote. But indirectly, parliament and Senate. Because parliament, Senate. So we surrendered our authority to under Article 1, our supremacy by parliament to exercise that mandate. Yes.
Another clarification kora ni mejege gemwa agegereng betut nebo rani komite kitagenge ne kora ne kwager ne togo changanya biik kidogo ngyo mi issue nebo Kindiki kora tegemi Kindiki at that position ne kakikoch So kakile mwa ngetutiet kole makat imi for ko i member for 3 months nebo political party. Aya. Mwa kole i member nebo political party for 3 months. Maangen kot ko mwa si clarify anwech akasa anendet kora. Aya, after noto kora ngecheret ni komi inendet ko koyoche ko ma member nebo any political party as a CS. Ako kikochi ngecheret ko to CS. Ko kikochi ngecheret nebo nini ko to CS inendet. So kele ma bit that 3 months go uno so yotally maelewan missing kole tos teptano kuno koek inendet amu yoche ko a member nebo political party sikekochi deputy president. So ago komi ko CS inendet. So yotally tuko mi maswali wakili. Une yoto une mwane ngatutiet eng lainata.
A reading of the constitution. You confirm it's Article 145 or Article 144. Does not raise those issues.
Oh.
That position of vacancy after removal is only that person is given that mandate by the constitution. I'm not sure whether there is a law. I have not seen any law saying or giving us the details in that requiring that one. People are fishing. They are saying the section of Elections Act, this section of this person is given that mandate as per the constitution only. Let me read 146. I think it's here. I'll confirm. But the position is Niger legi go as a deputy president after removal of a deputy president. Number one, Senate will vote to remove the deputy president. After the vote, that one is taken to Parliament. After removal of the deputy president by Senate, nominate any or appoint any deputy president. The word is nominate for approval by Parliament. Approval by Parliament, me the approval of Senate, cabinet secretaries, the PSS, and all those ones. Applies in a small way to the approval of a deputy president who has been nominated by the president to be deputy president. So parliamentary, it's only Parliament who has a mandate to clear that person. So the issues of 3 months, 1 year, or any does not apply. However, it's also in the interests of the president to have that person come from his political party. And therefore, there's no legal justification to argue that you must be 3 months, 5 months. At times, it's not possible to be a 3 month. For example, in the case of Kindiki, he was a serving CS, and the law does not say that he must resign. The constitution, I was trying to look for it. It's between the sections that I mentioned, 144, 145, 149. The law under those provisions does not provide that those things people are. You see, there are legal minds who are arguing there, making it look like it's the right position of the law. But that's not the point. There are so many things being said there. But most of those things you see here are not the true position of the law. In essence, we wait for the decision of the High Court in this matter. If the High Court does not have a mandate to deal with this issue, as we have argued earlier, means the president has a mandate to nominate that person, be cleared ordinarily in terms of KRA, EACC. If there's need for clearance by IBC, fine. Because people have also argued the issue of IBC clearance. That clearance is not similar to the clearance before election. Because remember, the constitution, in terms of filling the office or a removed deputy president, there's no role of IBC. There's no constitutional role. If there is any, it's only administrative. So, all those issues being argued there may not be the true position of the law. Because the constitution would have said, IBC shall clear. The constitution should have mentioned that. The law did not. The law that we are relying on, the constitution, did not mention all those things. But basically, somebody should be given that administrative clearance to be known to be a person of number one, to be known to be somebody who is not having so many debts, clearance by credit bureaus, those administrative issues. Maybe yes, easy to say this person is not corrupt. KRA to say is compliant with payment of taxes. Those are administrative and normal clearances required for any person assuming a serious office of in the name of Deputy President. So the law that we are using, to make it clear, in appointment of the Deputy President after removal is only the Constitution. Yes.
It's only the Constitution.
The Constitution.
So
those are administrative. The law, the Constitution does not provide for that. And you cannot provide where, you cannot put things, you cannot add your own. And people are getting Revelation. Kule mamat ko po sana ko teshi ngaleki sirutichu the same thing katiba nenyo magiteshi ngalega na magibose kini kamwage kuno kini mamo matimwa kini amatibosa amatiteshi yes so jembe biko ngalega ko teshi ngalegwa which are not provided for. We follow the law in the spirit, the letter and the spirit. And when it's about the letter and the spirit, you don't bring your own issues, you just deal with it the way it is. A, B, C. Kama usiseme Z na ijasema Z. A, B, C imetosha.
Kilometers time.
Magiteshi na magibose.
Kikiger Deputy President kako bariye kabisa ngap kirwa. Kinde kesini kelioni korong mi timelines chebo tuguchu amu chang ne kesishek chemi kotini kitoreni komi age wendi appeal ni kotestai ni mi kolion yani makielewani kele kateptano
en mango chang kesishek karibu 25 ya barak ma sure kama ni 28 29 but I know there are around above 25 matters fallen concerning removal of Gachagua. Appointment of Kindiki wa mangwale 3 or 4 matters concerning appointment of Kindiki revolving around there. So all these matters kini wa gap kirwak nebo high court ko wa kini bare consolidation go ki ya mago agenge say ga stool ko agenge. There are no timelines with regard to hearing of these matters but reading of what happened in election of the president, election of the president, the dispute arising, gave us Supreme Court. Could be within 14 days. The law provides that it should be decided or dealt with, determined within 14 days. So, gigers up Kapirwang, Supreme Court. Nenamaga, Nigereta, President and Deputy President, King Maya and Raila Odinga, because there's always been Raila Odinga and Nejamgwendi Wotini. Kobago Tini, which I'm going and Supreme Court for 14 days. It should also be within reasonable time. Because these are constitutional matter. For understanding, kini wakwa bijem go tin web kini bara constitutional petition. My election dispute. It's not an election dispute. It's only a constitutional petition. So I believe even the judges are reading into it and saying we must deal with this issue as soon as possible. So you see, this touches on the political question. This touches on the executive. There are so many powers and functions that the Deputy President plays. In his absence, so the High Court must be able to be seized of the matter within the shortest time possible and make a determination. Number one, whether it has jurisdiction. And if there's jurisdiction, which I believe it does not, within the shortest time possible. So we go money kasarta ko testai. Guni Kindiki konyo lugo ordinary konyo lugo CS nebo interior. Kaya nominated Deputy President. So in other words, there's a vacancy also in the office of the
Interior.
CS Interior. And then he has not assumed office. So he's just somewhere there. Make it your enjoy in state power. Tom Gunyor full. So it should also be resolved the shortest time possible for the interests of all Kenyans, for the public good. So there are no timelines, but the court should deal with this matter within the shortest time possible in a reasonable time. Reasonable time can be 14 days, 21 days, 28 days, but not excessive time. So we should be waiting for a decision the shortest time possible. Especially with regard to whether there's jurisdiction. And if it does not have jurisdiction, then the court will down its tools. Down its tools. But then jurisdiction, komakase kesinon akoistoenge akebe the next level kesweren in Professor Kindiki akotestai emet kotokomoe biik koyai kesit otherwise koma appeal in the High Court to the Court of Appeal to the Supreme Court but knowing that we have a president, deputy president for the country to be politically stable. We have a meeting like politics, removal and appointment. Kebe economy. How does time it progress in? Geri like matokyo like exam nguni. What is time it as usual? Yes.
You know the future about the politics about emed nenyo. Amu kogera over the last few days. Ako iger kamasta ni ba Mount Kenya ko watiem ko sa Mount Kenya ko iger ile katiem ko tuyo enge bagenge ako ba this issue ko to meet to go mi agatuyo ko ya machita kule uyo ko katiem kapsarire noto ko deputy president Gachagua ko katiem rir kapsa ko rire bik je chi ko ger sympathy ne gi missing ibwati ko mangung hospitali last weekend ni naga kuyimang hospitali yani in a way that giger kabisa igere ile we ka konyalil jiji kabisa kaimut kijana yanyi matinye bodyguards malion mami those trappings of power ole bi ku ka kichil jiji ku ka kichil jiji age ketiam go ekunot tos impacten in which way ngalega politics in emet.
Okay, from the political point of view, number one, if these issues resolved, removal as soon as possible, and it's confirmed that he is no longer deputy president, he has been impeached. The first thing which will happen, graph in back zero or even negative, because he's not going to vie for any position soon. He's not going to come. Maybe he can campaign for someone, but as an individual, so a political light will dim completely. And in my opinion, a sober-minded politician, the first thing is, even the however, sympathy. It is true that many people, not only in Mount Kenya, but the entire country, are likely to sympathize with him. But what does sympathy have to do with you when you no longer have political power? You no longer have even a mandate to fight in a position.
The political hope.
Yes, more. Now, the leadership of Mount Kenya are also clinging on his political lifeline. Negative. It was negative. They'll also have to look for an alternative on how to deal with their political issues in their background or from their backyard. Secondly, if we have to wait to a new strategy for our leader. So there will be realignments, political realignments, number one. Number two is new strategies, because we have Mount Kenya East, Mount Kenya West. There are those who are in diaspora, Jamii Rift Valley, other regions of this country, we are in diaspora. They also have to sit down and say, what's our effort? Do we stand and say Kindiki is our leader? Do we look for another leader? Those are things young and arise in Nguni after the decision of the courts to confirm Kindiki and be sworn in and then regard his home. So many elements will happen. I'm even sure new political parties will be formed, because the alignment means sitting and saying, this is our strategy, this is not our strategy, we want to move this way, not this way. So we'll be having new political parties, new other political leaders other than Kindiki. There'll be so much happening, and I'm very sure in the next 2-3 years, Mount Kenya will be a hotbed of politics. Yes.
Yeah, Mount Kenya will be a hotbed of politics. Missing so kocheza nchini missing president akuangalia ndanita maibaru inendet natanagilene kole miko support ni which maiboru kole supporten which area, maiboru kole inendet komi ko supporten keista noto ko deputy nenyi anan ko leon kokosisyi inendet kigere kityo kwae through action, kigere kwae through action. Tos toret noto politically 2027 konyo komwa kole kwagere kityo anan kokosisyige komanyane ngal ko ngalekab wabunge, tos nyo kotoret inendet nikasis nguni?
It is true. It's political, very politically healthy for him to do that. Because kasi ni kongegere kwa politicians, shabi parliament and senate. Komo kwenye ni piga role, amunga katiba, kagini kasi ni kwa katiba nenda koko nominate a new one. Boy katiba kasi kooni, it does not have any mandate legally under the constitution. He has no role to play. The only mandate in the parliament and the senate. So, ang gaya senate po ishe in his absence. Calling it katiba nyona. Nyaya po ishe ni rube. Nominate, give the name, send a name to parliament through a memorandum for further action. So, the president decided to take a back seat and watch, which is also going to give him a lot of political mileage in terms of he never played in the eyes of the common man. In my eyes and in your eyes, we never saw him actively say he wants him out or stay. He is out of the equation in terms of this issue. So it's only us Kenyans and parliamentarians who are senators and members of parliament who have been trying to understand the issues and asking ourselves questions. So in going towards 2027, the president will have an opportunity to strategize afresh in the absence of Kashagwa, when Kindiki is there. And as I told you, there will be new political realignments. Political parties will be formed. There will be new formations. I'm not even sure whether Kenya Kwanza will be the one going forward or we have another big outfit, because now we have broad-based government. ODM is in government, even though they still deny. But you look at the body language and the language of most police and civil Nyanza, that brings another question. One will be in the new formation going towards 2027. The president has a higher duty to look at the bigger picture of this country. He has said it's a broad-based government. When this is happening, it also gives us a picture of what is going to happen in 2027. Yes.
Kengalale hago ngemi ge tore tetutiet betut nebo Rani sa tiakteni labat wiya kidogo. So tos your parting shot ko ne heng betut nebo Rani ngalek tugul chekakengalale.
Pick up Kalenjin, kasari negimi nguni nugo impeachment. It's a true reflection of what we gave ourselves. It's a trial moment for the constitution of Kenya. We're actually testing what we have never done, impeachment of a deputy president. The only time a similar thing happened in this country, a nearly similar thing, was vote of no confidence of our former vice president, neighbor Dr. Joseph Karanja. That was in the old constitution. Now, under the new constitution, and actually that guy was never impeached, or the vote never happened. He resigned. In uncharted waters. Even the courts are finding themselves doing what has never been done.
We got it.
In the shortest period of time, I know it may not take another 1 week before you get, actually 2 or 3 days, we may get a decision of the High Court. So, actually this is going to be the classical decision on issues of impeachment. What we are waiting to see, so it's a defining moment for this country. Yes.
Kongwe meeting. Agere kale digele terer kip kale big Kelian West for tenant. Kale good morning. We want to see our Wakili Langat. We want to see our Wakili Langat in court in these impeachment proceedings. Good morning and thank you, Kimboy and Wakili. Eli, Kimba, and the hills, Laki, Migo, kami kosubi tetutiet eng betut nebo rani so meche kokerin biik eng tuguk cheu chu ngele kikokerin mi besio kikokerin kidogo kibitu so meche kokasegei biik kole orno wakili nenyon keker eng tetutiet so kongoi mising wakili kongoi mising ameche maun kiy tugul nemie chitab kolenjin kakelet nebo ngalalet nenyon nebo betutab rani nekata director nenyu Filton Biwot ameche maun kiy tugul nemie kainenyu ko Dennis Arap Kemboi.